Hi everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Yes, I want to see some thumbs up. Yes, thanks. Are you having a great day so far? Yes, thumbs up. Oh, great. Yeah, I wanted to yeah, thank the organization and uh, all of you that came here. Almost all chairs are filled, so that's looking good. Uh, the next 25 minutes, me and my colleague Marco want to take you on a journey, and we want to show you how we use AI in our daily job. And no, we are not mad scientists. We are just developers, like most of you, and we want to show you and inspire you. So maybe you already have experience with some of the things we use. So enjoy. And if you learned something new, I'm more than happy that you came here. But before we start, we want to introduce ourselves. I'm Raymond. I'm living in Hellevoetsluis. I'm lead front-end developer and lead AI at Share Value. And if you want to learn more about what I found interesting, you can check out my blog, LinkedIn, or GitHub.
I'm a .NET competence lead. Yeah? Okay. I play baseball, softball. I also lead AI with Raymond is there. I love F1, of course. Yeah, who doesn't? I love Demotica. And .NET doesn't have that many logos, so that's why. Oh well.
Oh.
Hey.
Something's going wrong.
Freaking pouches. Here. Pouches.
So, before we going on that journey, I want to tell you a bit about a few assumptions that you might want to consider. AI is not perfect, and I hope that the most of you know that already. But I think it's good to tell that. It is always good if you use AI to check the facts, because sometimes it will tell you a story and it's not true. So it's good and be conscious about it, that you use it and check the facts. AI is a perfect co-pilot. Well, for the most of the time, it's not a driver itself yet, some people will say. If you want to have great results, the power lies in the context of your prompt. And if you provide a lot of information with it, you will get a better result than with a short sentence. So we prepared a scenario for you, and we will take you on that journey to make it easy and show you how we use GitHub Co-pilot and ChatGPT. So first we're going to start with turning a JavaScript API, a Node.js API. It's pretty old, and we're gonna translate to a C# API. So let's go over to the to Visual Studio Code. And well, for most of you, it will look familiar. Yes, we turned on the light mode. I'm sorry, but most of the time this is better visible for the most of you. So we're gonna start with converting this JavaScript code to a C# Web API controller. So it's super easy, and we have to first select all the code. So GitHub Copilot knows in which context it should handle the code we want to have. So we're going to start with the prompt, and that is convert this code to a C# Web API controller. So hopefully the connection is good over here, and well, it seems pretty good. And we can start checking out what kind of code GitHub Co-pilot just generated. It's still busy, and it's also going to tell you some information about it. But it also is going to tell you things that you don't ask. So if we try in 10 minutes this same prompt with the same code, it might differ. So we know that. So if we check the code, and no, I'm not a C# developer, we can see that a lot of the things in my JavaScript code are into the C# code. But is it perfect? No, not at all. So if you check the code, most of it looks familiar. And now we're going back. So we just got the code, the JavaScript code, and turned it into a web API controller in C#. For the rest, Marco is going to take over.
Because Raymond doesn't understand C#, I'm going to do the rest. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take this file he just converted, put it in a new file so we can use it to make changes, of course. And as you can see, for the .NET developers here, it isn't perfect. I mean, there are some libraries that doesn't exist anymore. It could be better. So we're going to refactor this. So I'm going to select the whole file, so it doesn't know where the context is. And we're going to ask it to make it inject the Twitter client and the Firebase client. So I'm going to ask it make it inject the Twitter client and Firebase client in C#, otherwise it's going to give Python or PHP, I don't know, using dependency injection. And there, it's going to explain what it's going to do, of course, and it gives me the example which you can use. As you can see, it's injecting the Firebase client now. We'll wait a bit. Like here. So it's injecting the Firebase client now. It's injecting the Twitter client, but it's still not perfect. But we can use with it. We can use this. We're going to insert a cursor, so it's put it over the existing code. Yeah. And as you can see, there's an object here created. Twitter save object, not ideal. Could be in a separate method. So we're going to select the whole file again and ask GitHub Co-pilot to move the creation of Twitter saved object to a method. And again, it's going to explain what it's going to do. And this time it's nice to me. Sometimes it isn't that nice to me. Okay. And as you can see, there is now a create Twitter saved object method that creates the saved object for me. Yeah. And we're going to save it over, insert the cursor, so we can work with it again. Back to the slide. So this was the refactoring with Co-pilot. So what we did, Raymond converted the JavaScript to C#. I refactored the C# a bit, and now we're going to go to the fun part. The unit test. Yay. I'm going to select the whole file again, so GitHub Co-pilot knows what the context is. And I'm going to ask it to generate advanced unit tests. Because the simple unit test we can do by ourselves. A unit test for this controller. And again, it's saying what it's going to do, how you can use it, and it's again nice to me. It gives me the response I want. It's AI. You never know what it's going to generate for you, unless you use some kind of predictable prompts. And as you can see here, it uses basic unit tests again with some creation, but it's not really that reusable. So we're going to insert it in a file so we can work with it again. And we're going to ask it to refactor the unit test so we can use data source. So in this case it is X unit. So we're going to use, I guess, theories. We'll see. So then now using data source and fluent assertion, so we can read the assertions a little bit better. Okay, so it's explaining me to use the data source for your test. This is needed. Now, well, it's showing me what to do. As you can see, this is a theory with inline data, so that unit test is now reusable for multiple sources. Okay, I saved. Oh, so this is the final product of the unit test. Back to the scenario. Why is it doing it? Okay, so we wrote some unit tests now. Raymond again. I'm going to repeat it again. Converted the JavaScript to C#. We refactored it. We generated some unit tests, but we're not working alone. We're working with Frontend developers, with maybe Oracle developers, who knows. So we want to use generate open API spec file so everybody knows how to call this method. So I say I already selected it. I'm going to ask GitHub Co-pilot generate an open API spec file for this controller. So let's see what it's going to do. Yeah, it says Open API, formerly known Swagger, and this is the Open API spec file. Yeah, okay, it's done. No, it's not done. There we go. Even generates the 400 now. And we can use it to save that to a new file, so we can share it with our colleagues. Let's do this. So we converted to JavaScript. We refactored it a bit, wrote a unit test, and now the Open API spec file. But also our .NET colleagues who want to use the code want to know how to call the method. So we're going to generate some documentation for it. Back to the class. And we're going to ask the Co-pilot, of course, document this code using XML style documentation. If you don't specify what kind of documentation is needed, it's going to take some random style. You can use it, of course, but it's always the question what it's going to use. As you can see, it gives me a summary of the controller, summary of the method, the parameters, the signature of the method, and of course how to call it, and what it's going to return. This is taking a while. Okay, there we go. And we can insert it as cursor, so it's overwrites it. That's about it for this one. Okay, so we converted the JavaScript, refactored it, we wrote unit tests, documented with Open API spec file, documented the code, and now back to Raymond.
Yes. So Marco showed a lot of things with how to use GitHub Copilot chat. Now I'm a big fan of blogging. Maybe some of you are that as well. And we want to document our process on how we turned a Node.js API into a C# web API controller. So in this case, I'm going to use Bing Chat, and we're going to use this prompt. So first I'm going to copy the prompt. No. Here it is. And here we have the chat. And you can also use the same thing I'm gonna do right now in ChatGPT or some other AI. But one of the benefits that if your organization use Microsoft 365, you can use Bing Chat, and that's more privacy focused. So if you refresh it after you used it, it's all gone, all the data is gone, and they promise you that they don't use your data to train their models. So right now I'm gonna write a outline for a blog post with Bing Chat, and you can let it write a whole blog post for you. But well, maybe some of you know that Google doesn't like that because it lacks personality and those stuff. And I think if you let it generate an outline, it helps you to write a better story. So this is what we are going to do. In this outline, I hope everyone can read it. In this outline, I'm clearly telling the AI what I want, because otherwise it's going to make assumptions. It's going to tell fantasy stories, and you don't want that. So I'm clearly telling the AI, I want to have a outline that documents the process of why .NET developers or why Node.js developers want to convert their API to .NET. Well, if you want to use another language, that's fine, but this is an example. And I also want to say that it tells the reasons why developers might want to do that. And also that there is going to be a code comparison between the two languages, and a step-by-step tutorial, and some final thoughts. So with this, you can create your own blog post, but have it more structured. And well, this is going to take a while. So in the meantime, I want to take you a little bit on a story further that we experience as a developer, well, every day. And later on, we're going to come back to this outline. So lately, I got this nice email from a recruiter. And as a developer, we all love recruiters, right? Or not? Well, I can't hear you, but I assume most of you have experience with this. And this email, well, we're not happy with that. And I'm not going to read the whole story, but I hope you get the sense of this recruiter is rude. And the nice thing about AI is it can help you write a response to that. So we're gonna explore some things with that. And this is the prompt I used, in this case, ChatGPT, but you can also use Bing Chat or another AI. And in my prompt, I tell the AI, I'm a JavaScript developer and got a really rude message from a recruiter. I want to tell him politely that I'm not interested. But I also want to mention that I don't like the tone and the rudeness of his message. Help me write a clear message. And then below that, the message that I got from the recruiter. So an AI can help you write a perfect message. And maybe it's not perfect, but it is at least a helpful message that you can turn into your personal message. And this is a polite response. And well, I have a few highlights that the response is in. I'd like to mention that while I appreciate direct communication, the tone of your message came across quite dismissive and unprofessional. And one of the sentences next is, I believe that mutual respect is essential in all professional interactions, and I hope we can maintain that standard in any future communications. So if you check this message, it's great. You can copy, paste it into the email to the recruiter. I'm gonna take. But hey, that message that I got from the recruiter was really, really rude. So I want to try if ChatGPT in this case can come up with something better and that match the same rudeness. So I asked, I want to have an alternative as well, because this message is really pissing me off. So rewrite for me, please. So, and in this case, it still is not rude. There are some boundaries built in that you don't get a rude message. So in this case, it is more assertive, but it's still not rude. So one of the highlights is I've received many messages in my time as a developer, but yours take the cake. Well, that's making clear that it's not a good message from the recruiter. And given the tone of your message, it's clear that we're not a match. So if you would send this, it's also fine. It's more assertive, but hey, the AI helped you write a better message. But I want to try again and see what it does to push some boundaries. And I asked the AI, thanks for your advice, but please, this message was so rude that it really pissed off every developer in the whole industry. And then, still not rude, but more biting. It is a more biting response to the recruiter. And some of the highlights, I'm a JavaScript developer. You're looking for an Oracle developer. Did you even read my profile? Or were you too busy crafting your witty insults? Well, those kind of messages are more into the same way of communication as the recruiter used. And also, at the bottom, you will see a clear warning of ChatGPT that this message is sharp and mirrors the tone of your original voice. However, always remember the potential repercussions of sending such a message, especially in a professional settings. It's your call on how you like to proceed. So, can ChatGPT do a rude message? Well, it can be more biting, but it has some boundaries built in. And I think that's a good thing. But hey, we also want to have some humor in it. So I asked ChatGPT, thanks, but I want to add some flair of humor, because this message is a waste of my time. But this message is so bad, it is humorous. So, and that's, well, if you ask me, that's where the real power of AI comes in. It got a big sense of humor. So it says in some of the parts, your message was quite the read. I must admit, it's not every day that I receive a job offer wrapped in such a unique packaging. Well, I'm flattered to be considered for the Oracle developer decision. I've decided that this opportunity isn't the right fit for me. And hey, if you need a JavaScript developer with a sense of humor, you know where to find me. And this is a much funnier way to respond to a rude message. I hope that you don't get these kind of messages, but this clearly lets you see that you can let AI help you write responses to those messages. So we got a polite one, we got an assertive one, we got a biting, ruder version, but we also got a message with a sense of humor. And that's what I like, that AI can help you focus on the things that are important for you and let you help spend less time on the not so important things. So right now we have generated the email, but we have to go back to Bing Chat to show so that I can show you the outline of the blog post. And I'm not gonna explain every row of text, but in this case we ask for a reason to convert Node.js to .NET, code comparison between the two languages, step-by-step tutorial, and some final thoughts. And if you read through it, you see some reasons to convert Node.js to .NET. You see comparison between Node.js and .NET, step-by-step tutorial, and this can help you write a good blog post. So, as a wrap-up, because it's almost time, which tools did we use? Well, we use ChatGPT, we use GitHub Co-pilot, GitHub Co-pilot Chat, we use Bing Chat, but there are many alternatives. So which alternatives are there? For GitHub Copilot, you have Codium. They have a free and a paid version, Tab9, and you have refact.ai. The last one is an open source version. You can host it yourself, so for companies that want to keep everything in-house, they can. If you want to have more alternatives, you can go to that link and see which there are. Later on, I'm going to share a QR code so you can visit it. So which alternatives are there for ChatGPT? Well, the list is growing every day. So, but from, well, today on, there's Bard, Bing Chat, Now AI, I Ask AI, ChatSonic, AutoGPT, Pooh. So, yeah, there are a lot of alternatives to use. If you have questions, we don't have time for it now, but you can scan the QR code, and we love to respond on your questions on Twitter, or if you want to say X. So if you want to scan it, you can. I see some people scanning. And if it doesn't work, you can later on come to us, and we are happy to answer your questions. If you want to check our source code, also all the links from the alternatives, you can scan this QR code, and it's open source, so we are happy to share. That's it for us.